Today for New Music Monday, we're going to look at the brand new record from Dum Dum Girls, and it's called Too True. This record has had a ton of hype leading up to its release, and a lot of very well-respected writers have been saying some very big things about this record, so I had to check it out for myself. Regardless of everything else, there's solid musicianship from end to end here, and there are some very, very catchy hooks to be found. However, there's also a hefty amount of reverb on here, almost to the point that it becomes cliche. But I think they can get away with it to an extent because it's definitely part of the sound they're going after. But that's kind of the problem. Because of the ever-present reverb, a lot of these songs end up sounding exactly the same. It's not so much a bad thing as it is a clear indication that this band is pretty much a one-trick pony, and maybe another way of saying it is this would have been a good EP as opposed to a full album. You can hear the guitar at so many points on this album ready to just let loose and rip, but they're clearly being restrained by the rest of the band. And that's a tragedy because there's a great fuzz on the guitar and you can tell there's a lot of talent being held back. But that's kind of the overall story with this record. It sounds like the band is still lost and not really sure what they want to do musically. Do they want to make dance songs, rock songs, retro 80s songs? Are they trying to be adult contemporary? They seem to try and live in some strange middle ground that doesn't actually exist, and it ends up hurting these songs big time. I guess in a way it sounds as if this was a band making a demo trying to show every single side of their sound that could be marketed. And there's just no fluidity or continuity anywhere on the record except of course for that ever-present reverb. Also, when you get to the end of this album, you're gonna find yourself checking to see if it's actually already started repeating because the songs sound that similar. I will say that the track Are You Okay would have definitely been the ideal closing song to any of John Waters' films in the 1980s. It's a decent track and probably the best of the bunch. But everywhere I've been reading, they're saying so much about how the production team behind this was gonna make this the new era for shoegaze music, and that it was gonna open this new page and new ground for indie rock, and sadly, it does neither. It's tepid and uninspired music, though they do tend to play their instruments pretty well. Honestly, I'm just not sure why there have been mountains of praise thrown onto this album, as there wasn't a second anywhere on it that made me sit up and listen and say, wow, that was great. And there's only a few points I found where the music rose above anything I would call better than musically average. This record's not gonna blow you away. It's not that it's bad, but honestly, I think the best I can say about this is that if it came on while I was shopping at the grocery store, I'd be thankful that it was a slight break from the terrible music that they normally play there. And on the buy it or borrow it, if workplace-friendly, light synth rock is your thing, it's probably a borrow it, and for everybody else, don't believe the hype. This is a bin it. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, leave a comment, click like, whatever you want to do. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again next time.